Hey everyone, I'm Drew Gutierrez. I'm a full-time staff member here at the Union, and I'm excited to get you started on your student staff training. You are maybe wondering, and the answer is yes, there will be a quiz on all this. There will be 3 videos or learning modules, so please make sure you are watching each module video from start to finish and then submit the quiz. This is open book, note-taking is encouraged, and hopefully each of these videos is fun and interesting. So good luck. We're going to kick things off in this module by sharing a little bit about the Union. We'll cover our history, look at our physical space, cover our mission and the programs we support, and then our funding and governance. So the Carolina Union's formal name is the Frank Porter Graham Student Union. We're named after this guy, Frank Porter Graham. He was a U.S. Senator. He was the first president of the UNC system. And so you might see FPG Student Union sometimes in writing. That is cumbersome. So we almost always just call ourselves the Carolina Union. Our building was completed and opened in 1969. There was a bowling alley, a snack bar, a barber shop. There were and still are pool tables. In the 1980s, the university decided that more space was needed, so the annex and the 2400 hallway were completed. That's where the auditorium is. And then between 2002 and 2012, there was another expansion that added a new building and renovations to the main building. And then our most recent major project was a renovation to the auditorium. It was way too 1980s, so we brought it into the modern era. Much better. The Union now is quite proudly 165,076 square feet. 29 meeting rooms, 2 performance spaces, places to eat, study spaces, lounges of all kind, and office space. So let's quickly review who and what is in our building. It's a massive space, so we won't cover everything, but we'll hit the highlights and maybe a few things you weren't aware of. Let's start with our ground level. We have Wendy's, the Underground Lounge, Student Organizations Resource Room, storage spaces. STV, the student organization, has its studio here. The Communications and Creative Services Office Suite and the Facilities Maintenance Suite as well. Level 2, this is where we have some of our more well-known spots, Alpine Bagel and West Lounge, of course, the Welcome Desk, the Grid, the Art Gallery, Great Hall and the Great Hall Lobby, the Auditorium, and our Business and Finance Office. If you head across the breezeway, you will get to Student Life and Leadership Office and the QAB office. And finally, on level 3, we have the Aquarium Lounge, Class of 2000 Lounge, the Administration Office, Event Services Office, the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, our meeting and storage room for student organizations, and then there's also office space for WXYC, Student Radio, Apple Service Learning, Student Legal Services, Student Government, all on our 3rd level. So a huge space, but hopefully that's a good overview of many things in the Union. Our physical space is one thing, but it's important to think about what we do, and that really starts with the mission statement. So here it is. We are dedicated to this idea and all work together to fulfill it, so here goes. The Carolina Union creates safe, inclusive, and educational experiences that enable students to maximize their time at Carolina. Now, how do we do that? We really are the home to UNC registered student organizations. We handle their registration, get them set up and running, make sure they're governed correctly. We're also home to fraternity and sorority life, overseeing fraternity and sorority organizations on campus. We support and advise the Carolina Union Activities Board, so think about all of the things they do. Heritage Month programming, Homecoming Comedy Show, the LDOC Drag Show, Spring Jubilee Concert. We help them with all of that. We create student activities and involvement opportunities, things like Fall Fest, involvement fairs throughout the year. Those are our programs. And then we create leadership and skills development workshops that are open to students. So there are lots of different co-curricular and extracurricular activities that we play a hand in. As a final piece, it's important to understand a little bit about our structure and funding. So we are led by the Carolina Union Board of Directors. This is a student-led group, and that separates us a bit from many other departments on campus that we are led by students. It is a board responsible for financial, long-range, and policy planning for the Carolina Union. The wonderful Darian Abernathy is Carolina Union Board of Directors chairperson for 2020-2021, and Sarah Bradley is QAB president, which means she is vice chair of our board of directors. Now, Darian was a longtime student employee, as have been many of our past board chairs. So you should definitely think big about your role with the union. Funding for the union. We are funded by the Carolina Union Operating Expenses Fee. That's a portion of the fee that all students pay and covers everything from building operations to office support and staffing. We also generate revenue through things like programming, services, and space reservations as well. This funding also serves as a reminder and inspiration for us to be good caretakers and stewards of student fees. It's why we strive to take good care of our clients, the people using our spaces or services, because ultimately it is their money that supports us. And so we encourage you to be mindful of that. Finally, I mentioned QAB, the Carolina Union Activities Board, before. Their funding is actually in the student constitution. So I've mentioned all the great activities, art and culture, they bring to campus, and that's how those activities are supported financially. So that is Module 1, quick primer of some of the basics about the union. Next module will get you introduced to each union office. One final request here, certainly not a requirement. Give the union and QAB a follow on social media. Lots of good information for you as both an employee and just as a student. So take a second and follow both. Okay, good luck with the module quiz. We'll see you in the next module.